Hi, Joe Paprocki from Loyola Press for Pop-Up Prayer. And today our guest is Gary Jansen, a very popular speaker and author of a number of books. And he is the executive editor of acquisitions at Loyola Press. Hi, Gary. Thanks for
Hey,
joining us today.
hey, Joe, good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So, Gary, you told me you've been doing some pretty heavy thinking about prayer lately. What insight can you give us about prayer?
One of the things that's really been on my mind a lot lately is that prayer can be retroactive. And what I mean by that is that, praying for the past, I really do believe like can positively affect the present and the future. And I guess I've become really interested in just emotional trauma lately, I guess because of everything that we've been through with the pandemic,
Sure.
and really interested in how we hold on. We can sometimes hold on to emotions, and those emotions can sometimes get stuck inside us. And sometimes we can have emotions when or go through traumatic events when we're kids, and those emotions can get stuck in us. So as much as I pray now for the present, for others and for myself, I also pray for when those times when people got hurt in the past. So if someone experienced a trauma when they were young, I pray for that moment when that trauma happened. That could be 20, 30 years ago. Because I really do think praying for the past can really affect the present and ultimately the future.
That is a very deep thought, and boy, it's got my head sort of spinning a little bit about praying for the past. But you're right; it does affect us in the present, and that's a nice way to pray for other people. So, what prayer do you turn to then to calm yourself, or to pray for someone else who's experiencing emotional trauma?
Yeah, for me, Joe, I mean, one of the things I love the most is the name of Jesus. And so that Jesus's name is like the ultimate prayer for me, the most holy name. And then so what I'll do is I will every day I pray, I just chant Jesus's name to myself silently. And I usually do it in triplets, right? So it's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And sometimes I'll even touch my chest, right? Touch my heart when I do it. And when I'm doing this, when I'm the prayer is really Jesus, pray for me in the past. Jesus, pray for me in the present. Jesus, pray for me in the future. Heal my heart. Come into my heart, dwell in my heart. And that is really, I think prayer can get really heady sometimes, but just falling back on the name of Jesus is just so powerful for me.
Such a simple prayer, and it has a long history, of course, in our Christian tradition. And of course, the name Jesus means God saves. And so, what a wonderful way to ask God to save us. So, in closing, Gary, what advice can you give all of us to enrich our prayer lives and to find some calm and healing?
One of the things I love about prayer, Joe, is, and I know we've talked about this in the past, is just it's prayer can be silent, right? We can do it as a community, we can do it with other people, but prayer really can be silent. And I really do think that so many of us have all this chatter that goes on inside our head during the day, either worries or we got to meet deadlines and we start to like panic or freak out about things, or maybe you're worrying about paying a bill. But a way of like dispelling some of that worry is to kind of just put something else in your mind. And the most wonderful thing that you could put in your mind is Jesus, right? So go back to that Jesus prayer. Just chant the name of Jesus, pray the name of Jesus throughout the day, silently to yourself. No one has to know, right? You could be at a grocery store and just saying Jesus's name over and over again. And think about how different the world would be if we stopped thinking negative thoughts and instead just thought about Jesus all day. It would be radically different, Joe. We'd be living on
Absolutely.
we'd be living in heaven, man.
Yeah, and what great advice. I think very timely. We live in very challenging times, and all of us are a little shaken and carry some emotional trauma at different degrees. And so, thank you, Gary, for sharing some insights about how we can deal with all of that. Really appreciate it.
Joe, love talking to you. Have a great one now, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, all of you, for joining us for our pop-up prayer. My name is Joe Paprocki. Until next time, God bless.